This is Zach Garkey, and this is my final shoulder examination. We have a patient here lying supine. You ready to go today?
Yep.
Let me take a look at your shoulder. Alright, so the first joint we're going to check out is the sternoclavicular joint, otherwise known as the SC joint. And I'm just going to move your arm around here. I'm going to palpate the joint right here. I'm going to move your arm around, see how it's moving throughout all different sorts of ranges of motion. Assessing for the joint. I'm going to bring the arm into a neutral position, and then I'm going to replace my fingers with my palm. Are you okay with that?
Mm-hmm.
Alright, this should be just a little more comfortable. Then from the neutral position, I'm going to push I to S, bring my elbow over and shoot medial to lateral. Then I'm also going to bring the arm into internal rotation, find the joint again push S to I, medial to lateral. Take the arm in external rotation, find the joint, push S to I, and medial to lateral. Then we're going to take the arm into 90 degrees abduction in neutral. We're going to come in again, push S to I, medial to lateral. Take the arm in internal rotation, push S to I, medial to lateral. Take the arm in external rotation, push S to I, or I to S, and medial to lateral. And finally, we're going to bring the arm into 90 degrees flexion. You can just let your arm relax right there. And we're going to do the same thing one more time, pushing I to S, and medial to lateral. Taking the arm in internal rotation, I to S, medial to lateral. External rotation, I to S, medial to lateral. One adjustment we could do if we found a restriction, let's say we have a restriction in abduction and internal rotation going from medial to lateral, so we'll put the arm in that position. We'll find the joint here. I'm going to come in with my palm contact, take some tissue drag from medial to lateral, make sure my elbow is across the body, and then find the end range of the joint and give a slight thrust medial to lateral. Next, we're going to evaluate the AC joint. So we're just going to work our way out on the clavicle from that inner position until we find the joint out here on the shoulder. Excellent. We're going to do the same thing. I'm taking it through a variety of ranges of motion here. See how she's moving? You doing okay?
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Good. And then we'll kind of do the same process of the exam with the arm in neutral, except we're going to do a few different motions. We're going to go from the anterior aspect and push A to P, slide posterior, and do P to A. An internal rotation, A to P, P to A. External rotation, A to P, P to A. Bring the arm into 90 degrees abduction, same thing, A to P, P to A. Internal rotation, A to P, P to A. External rotation, A to P, P to A. And then finally in 90 degrees of flexion in neutral up here, the joint kind of disappears a little bit, so we'll have to make sure that we're on the right spot. Again, pushing A to P, pulling P to A. Internal rotation, A to P, P to A. External rotation, A to P, and P to A. And then now we're going to take a look at your glenohumeral joint, okay? So I'm going to take your arm, move it around, see how we're doing. Any pain with any of this?
Nope.
No, I'm doing good. Awesome. Okay, bringing the arm in neutral anatomic position. I'm going to just straddle your wrist here so I can pull down in between my legs. And then I'm going to take my hands and put them up on your shoulder joint like this so I have a good grasp on it. Okay. Then I'm going to check A to P, pushing down, P to A, and shooting from medial to lateral. I can do the same thing with the arm in internal rotation. taking my same position on the deltoid, distracting a little bit, pushing A to P, pulling P to A, pushing M to L. And then with the arm and external rotation, gonna be doing the same type of thing. Distract, A to P, P to A, M to L. Let's say we find a restriction in external rotation from, let's say A to P. So I'm gonna put the arm in external rotation, take my contact on the delt, distract till I feel the end, push down till the end, and then give a slight thrust through, and then recheck. Moving on with the glenohumeral joint, we're going to move the arm into 90 degrees abduction. We're going to change our position, go to the front of the table, so we can get a better angle here. I'm just going to balance here, hold your arm on my knee right here, okay? With my elbow, and I'm going to take the contact over the deltoid again. I'm going to distract out a little bit and push A to P, pull P to A, and for this one, we're going to shoot S to I. We can do the same thing in internal rotation, distracting out, A to P, P to A, S to I. In external rotation, we can do A to P, P to A, S to I. And then finally, bringing the arm into 90 degrees flexion. We're going to make sure we have our contact, gonna let the patient know we're going to be getting into their armpit. We're going to be driving A to P, moving up a little bit, checking S to I, and then bringing the elbow across, checking medial to lateral. You can do this in internal rotation. Same thing, A to P, S to I, M to L. And lastly, in external rotation. A to P, S to I, and medial to lateral. And a few other things we could do, if we notice any tight muscles around the area, we could do a couple of different soft tissue things. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is some trigger point on the anterior delt, okay? And what I'm going to do for that is I'm going to press down with my thumb on an area that I feel some tightness or a ball. I'm going to hold it for about 5 to 7 seconds, okay? And we can utilize this technique all along the deltoid wherever we find any areas of tightness. And then lastly, we're going to check out the scapulothoracic joint for the patient and do one more soft tissue maneuver. Okay, so I'll have the patient, I'll have you flip face down for me. Excellent. A lot of times, we often find the rotator cuff muscles are tight on people, and one of the techniques that I like to use is called cross friction. Not necessarily quote unquote breaking up adhesions, but just kind of working out that muscle, trying to lengthen it and maybe break up any scar tissue that might be in there. So on our patient here, we feel she does have some tightness in the infraspinatus out here on the shoulder. So what I like to do is take 2 thumbs and just work across the muscle. And you should be able to feel this. Feel how ropey that is? So we're trying to just break up some of that ropiness and some of that scar tissue. And cross tissue is just working across the muscles. I'll have you then flip on your side and face away from me. We're going to be assessing your scapula right now, okay? Yep, just put that arm up there and you can just let your legs relax down here. I'm going to take my arm and come under this arm so I can get a good grip, and you can just lay it right there. So I'll find the top and bottom of the scapula on my patient here. We're going to take it through a couple different ranges of motion. At any point, if you can't see straight ahead of you, let me know. I'm going to try to stay back here so I'm out of your way, okay? Okay. And some of the motions that we have elevation, pushing up, depression, pushing down. We have retraction, feeling it move right there. We have protraction, leaning back, making sure the scapula moves good there. Excellent. And then we have medial rotation, bottom of the scapula is moving towards the spine. Lateral rotation, bringing it towards the out of the body. And then we have anterior and posterior tilt. So for posterior, we're gonna push on the front of the shoulder and pull down. And anterior tilt, we're gonna pull the front of the shoulder and push up. Kind of like that. And those are the 8 motions of the scapulothoracic joint. Thank you very much.